Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. I've got a fun one for you guys today. I have in front of me a new palette. We are going to be playing with it today. This was just sent to me. It's not even a palette I necessarily knew much about or was really interested in, but holy smokes, you guys. This color story is one of the most unique color stories I've seen in a while, and I am absolutely dazzled by, okay, that's such a stupid word, in love with this eyeshadow look today. Wait till you guys see this palette. I can't wait to show it to you guys. We're also gonna use some other things that I'm just really obsessed with right now. Some of these you've seen before. Some of them are kind of old favorites that have re-emerged from the corners of my makeup collection, but we're gonna put it all on today and create this really beautiful makeup look. Hopefully you guys are excited. Before we get into the makeup, I wanna wish you a special welcome if you are new here. Thank you for joining me today. Hope you enjoy this video, and I hope that you'll consider subscribing. Also hit that notification bell. But we have got a lot of makeup to put on, so let's get into it. Okay, so we're gonna get into just what I'm really loving right now. We are gonna try out the new Alter Ego Coastal palette. This is meant to be a dupe for the Huda Beauty. Oh geez, I just looked it up and I already forgot the name of it. The Rose Quartz eyeshadow palette. I don't own that eyeshadow palette, so unfortunately I'm not gonna be able to do like a comparison to that one, but I did just get done swatching this thing, and you guys, this looks very, very promising, very pretty, very interesting color story. We're gonna try this out today. I'll of course show you guys some swatches and then just fill in with some other stuff that I just can't stop using right now. So let's get started with the primer. We're gonna take my Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. I don't often get obsessed with products, and I even less often get obsessed with primers, but I am truly obsessed with this primer. It is so good. It's the perfect combination of hydrating but also kind of tacky, to where it just makes my foundation feel like it applies better. I don't know that it makes it like last longer or anything. I just really like how this feels on my dry skin. And I've also noticed when I use this primer that my skin later on in the day doesn't feel like it dries out later. Like I feel like it gives me lasting hydration. It's too bad it's so expensive. Let's move on to a BB cream that I am re-obsessed with. This is the Mise en Snail Repair BB cream in the shade 27. You guys know I love this stuff. I actually have the tiniest bit left in this one, then I have a backup tube waiting for me. Trying to squeeze out every last little bit of this, but I have to warn you guys, initially I did like the squeezy tube. I thought better than the pump, but when you get to the end, there are times that you squeeze it out that it kind of like splatters, so it can be very, very messy. So just be careful if you happen to get it in this packaging situation. So this I just like to apply with my hands. I did put sunscreen on a few hours ago. This does have added sunscreen in it. I think it has SPF 50, which is really good. And right now, this is my perfect shade match. I do have just like the tiniest hint of a tan from just spending a little bit of time watching baseball and tennis this spring. Oh, here comes that sun again. Hang on, guys. It's gonna be a battle this whole video, I just know it. I can see those rain clouds. Oh, I hope we get a rainstorm today. Let's add some concealer. You guys probably know what concealer I'm obsessed with right now, my Physicians Formula. I actually use 3 shades of this. Definitely not necessary. I only use these 3 shades because they sent these to me, and so I happen to have them. By the way, I also got sent this Hydro Grip Primer and the Alter Ego palette, so did not do that on purpose. My best shade match would be the light medium one. This one works pretty much everywhere. I can use it in the center of my face. I can use it on the perimeter, but I sometimes like to use this one on my spots on my cheeks because I do have a little more color on my cheeks. It seems to work a little better there. And then I like to use the fair one just on my eyelids, maybe a little bit in the center of my face to do a tiny bit of highlighting. So we're gonna use all of them today. I know that's a bit excessive. Okay, so we're gonna take a beauty sponge right here. Let's start with this one, which is light medium. This one I probably get the most use out of. In fact, maybe I won't use the dark one. I think this one matches really well right now. I've been having a little bit of texture right here. They're not really breakouts, kind of right above my eyebrow right here. And I also have a really strong expression line right there. I've never done Botox or anything like that, and it shows. I'm very aware of that, but I feel like having a little bit more texture right there just makes this whole area of my face look really strange. But I'm trying to just be okay with it and just age gracefully and not obsess over the little things like forehead wrinkles and smile lines, the neck, which has been the thing that I'm trying not to obsess over, the fact that my neck is getting older looking. If you're over 40, you'll know what I'm talking about. The neck is one of those things you don't really think about, but boy, does it show your age. The only time I care is when I'm editing videos and I get very critical of myself, and I'm trying to get over that. So Nothing wrong with looking your age, in my opinion. I do like to make sure that I blend out the darker concealer first because I don't want to transfer this lighter shade to other areas of my face. Now we're going to set that down with a little bit of powder. Physicians Formula Translucent Glow Powder. Start on my eyelids, center of my forehead, and then down the sides of my mouth and just what's left kind of here on my cheeks a little bit. Okay, now let's add some bronzer or contour. So I did mention the Halo Glow contour in my last favorites video, just last week, but I've been obsessed with this stuff. So we're gonna use it today. The packaging is starting to get pretty messy for me. I mean, I still don't love this type of packaging, but I get why they put a product like this in this type of packaging because I don't know how else you would apply it. You guys see how strange this is? It looks so blue, like a slate blue color. It's the weirdest product. It goes on such a strange shade, but when I blend it out, it just looks like this natural kind of subtle shadow. Anyways, I don't love this type of packaging, but I kind of understand the necessity of packaging it like this because I just don't know how else you could do it. Okay, I am gonna go back and cover up this spot right here. Normally that doesn't uncover when I use the contour, the liquid contour from e.l.f. But I think this spot is getting darker right now because I've been spending a lot more time outside and it just gets very, very dark in the summertime. So it takes a little bit more to cover it up. Take the tiniest bit of this shade, which is medium to tan. Very lightly just tap it on top. I'm not even blending this out very much. I'm just basically like tapping that in place. Okay, again, with the sun. Okay, there we have it. Let's add some blush. So I do have two blushes I want to double up today. I know that this is a little bit excessive, but I'm obsessed with both of these. You guys have seen me talk about this one and use it. The Physicians Formula Natural Glow. I love this color though. It's this pretty kind of bronzy rose color. It's kind of like a good bronze topper. And I love using it on top of a contour because it just pairs really well with something a little bit more cool toned and sculpting. But we are going to use something else to add just a pop of brightness to the cheeks. Okay, let's add a little bit more to the cheeks. We're going to take this. This is really old lip product that I got from YesStyle. It's the Juicy Pang Lasting Tint. This one is in the shade CR05. I know that I've mentioned the Romand lip tints to you guys before. Oh, where are those? Hold on. These ones right here, I have a couple of these that I love. These are very similar. They actually smell kind of similar. They have that same kind of fruity, but like, oh no, you know what these smell like? These smell like one of the Fruity Lip Smackers flavors from when I was in like junior high school. Oh man, I love that. Takes me back to my childhood. So here's a little swatch of it. These are slightly on the almost sticky side, but they do blend in really well to the cheeks and they give your cheeks this really pretty kind of like plumping effect. If you have dry skin, if you don't mind that, a consistency like that on your cheeks, I think you would like these. More than anything, I just love this color. It's kind of this like corally orange. I know it looks intense right now. We'll blend it out. Bear with me. Back to that sponge, we're just gonna go around the edges. I'm trying to be very careful not to touch that spot that I just recovered. Beautiful, beautiful cheeks. Okay, let's add a little bit of highlighter. What was I gonna use for highlighter? Oh yeah, I pulled this back out recently. This is the Lottie London Shimmer Squad. I don't know that this is available anymore, but I do really like this. I'm just gonna dip into the gold and the pink and apply just a little bit right here. And then a little bit to the center of my nose, on top of my lips, and then I like to take my finger right on my Cupid's bow because I do have a couple of lines up here that are kind of emphasized when I put highlighter on them. But I do it anyways. I know that's kind of stupid. Put highlighter on and then wipe it off, but I feel like there's still like a trace there that does something. Maybe it's all in my head. All right, before we move on to the eyeshadow, let's tackle these brows really quickly. So I've been reaching for these two products for the last week or so. This one right here is from a brand that I found, I think at a Marshall's. It's called The Secrets. Actually, it's rubbed off. The paint has kind of come off. I think it's called The Secret of Pharaoh. I don't know, I really like this brow pencil. It's a really good consistency. It's nice and slim. It's not the slimmest. I actually think it's not quite as slim as like the Ulta Beauty one or the Benefit Precisely My Brow, but it's a really good consistency. It's a good color. I don't know what color it is because again, it's worn off of the packaging, but I think I got this for like $2.99 or $3.99 at a Marshall's. I've had a couple of successful brow finds at Marshall's from random brands that no one's ever heard of. That's the good thing about finding something for $2.99. It's worth the risk. If it sucks, it's not that big of a deal. If you don't get a lot of use out of it, you can just give it to someone else or declutter it or throw it away. But if it ends up working out at $2.99 or $3.99, that's a steal. A little bit on the darker side, but that's okay. I just colored my roots the other day, so I'm a little bit dark up here. I need to add some blonde before summer comes. So I think I got my first gray hair around my early 20s, and it kind of was a slow process until I hit my mid-30s, and then it just like snowballed from there. I do have a lot of gray hair that I have to cover. I have a couple areas in my hair where I bet I have mostly gray hair, like this section up here, some spots back here, and it's really uneven and kind of spotty. So I'm kind of at that phase where it's getting really high maintenance to maintain, but I'm not ready to like go gray yet. I know this is a battle many of you have fought before, or maybe you're still fighting the battle, or maybe you've given up and you're a happier person for it. Let me know. I'm not quite there yet, but I can see why some people give up the fight. Okay, I'm just going back to that pencil. By the way, this was just my Etude House Bare Edge Brow Fixer. This is a very close dupe for the NYX, the brow glue. Pretty similar products. They perform similarly. They have the same kind of color and consistency. Probably about the same price as well. This one's just a little bit harder to get your hands on. Brows are done. Let's jump over to this beautiful palette. So this again was sent to me by Coastal Scents. I saw Coastal. Do you guys remember Coastal Scents? I don't even think they're around anymore. Alter Ego. This was sent to me from Alter Ego. Thank you, Alter Ego. And it looks so pretty. I'm gonna insert for you guys a close-up right here along with these swatches. I was fascinated by this color story. It just looked so unique, which is hard to find a unique palette for me these days because I have tried so many palettes over the years that everything just kind of looks like a repeat of something else I have seen before. I'm sure there are some shades in here that I own something similar to, but I thought so many of these were so pretty and so very unique. And I think the packaging is really cute as well. So let me know if you guys have tried out the original Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette, what you thought of that one. I never really even thought about buying that one. I'm kind of funny with Huda Beauty. I'm not often tempted by her larger, more expensive palettes. I like her obsession-sized eyeshadow palettes. Like those kind of give me my Huda Beauty fix. So I'm gonna go with this shade here in the corner. It's kind of like a brownish, like a cool tone brown. Ooh, that's a pretty shade. I'm kind of bummed I don't have this original palette to compare this one to. I love Alter Ego. I think they do a great job with their dupe palettes. I don't think they're ever exact. The formulas I don't think are ever exact. Sometimes I think the mattes and the shimmers both are, they need a little bit more building, but not by much. And for the price difference, I think they're really good quality. Take a little bit more of that same shade on the back end of that brush and just run it under the lower lash line. I kind of want to take just a little pop of this. It's kind of like a, what would you call that color? It's a mix between a pink and a purple. I just want a tiny bit of this right up on my brow bone right here to pop up above kind of those darker, more gray tone shades just to give me a splash of color. Okay, let's darken up that outer corner just a little bit more before I add some shimmers. Let's go with this one right here. Let's take it just a touch warmer. This is called Cocoa. I'm just gonna take a little tiny bit on the corner of that fluffy blending brush and lightly dust that right along the lash line and then kind of just feather it up through the crease. And take a little bit more of that same dark brown on the back end of this brush, kind of applying it in the same spot, but this one I'm also gonna take very lightly under the lower lash line. Let's add some shimmers. We're gonna start with this one right here. This is still a pretty light color. This is called Sand. Oh, look how pretty, you guys. It's kind of like a taupey, purpley, cool tone silver. I'm gonna apply this right across the center, leaving the inner third open for that duochrome. Okay, now let's jump over to this shade right here, which is the shade Pearl. It's kind of like a pinky blue. I'm just gonna take that with my pinky finger and pop it on the inner part of the lid towards that other shimmer. Oh wow. This is definitely a shade that is kind of a showstopper. If you like something more subtle, I think you could still use the shade, but I would use it with a brush so it's a little bit more sheer. But I'm not mad at it. That's beautiful. It's bold. Bold and beautiful. Isn't that a soap opera? Okay, wow, guys. This is gorgeous. I am really excited about this color story. Not just this look that I have on today, but there are other shades in here that I just really wanted to try today. This other duochrome right here looks so beautiful. This kind of blue shade right here, probably not a shade I'm gonna use very often, but it looks really interesting. There's some other gorgeous shimmers. This kind of light bubblegum pink looked really fun. I can't wait to keep playing with this. This looks really fun, really beautiful. I don't know why I did not feel any sort of interest in the original Huda Beauty one. Actually, I do know why. Because it's a pricey palette. And it's one of those things I just don't really even look into it so that I won't be tempted. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of liner. I'm just gonna take my Wet n Wild liner right here. I'm just getting this right into my lashes. Now I'm gonna throw on just a couple coats of this NARS Climax mascara. This is just a mini. I love this mascara. I've actually had this, I bought this mini twice. I can't bring myself to buy the full size quite yet because I just have so many mascaras open at one time that I kind of feel like minis are the way to go for me most of the time. But I've been really loving this one. It's not my most long wearing mascara. It doesn't hold up to watery eyes, which I don't have plans to go outside today, so that's not a big deal. But it's a very fluffy, kind of volumizing, lengthening. It's a good kind of like cat eye mascara that gives you like a good shape on this outer corner. I like to really build it up on both my top and my lower lashes and kind of pull them outwards. And it just gives you this really pretty, like feathery looking eyelash. Kind of reminds me of the Pat McGrath mascara actually. All right, eyes are finished. Wow, guys, this is so, look at that duochrome and that shine. Love this eyeshadow palette. I'm really excited about this one. Unfortunately, I can't compare this to the original, as I mentioned, but man, what a beautiful color story. If you're into kind of silvers, some duochromes, some soft pinks and purples, this is a really interesting color story. I don't think I own anything quite like this. Let's move on to the lips. I have just two more things. Starting with this one, which I know you guys have seen before. I'm back to my Natasha Denona I Need a Rose lip liner in Cala. I've had this in my purse for the last couple weeks. Oh, it's the best lip liner. So creamy. It goes on so quick. Sorry, this is really awkward. So it's actually hard to apply evenly because it's so creamy, but that's okay. I actually just like take my finger and kind of smudge it in and it just blends right into my lips. And then it will just set down and it will not budge. And it's such a beautiful color. It's kind of a warmer nude, but it's not overly warm. It's not too pink or too peach or too brown. It's like that classic Your Lips But Better kind of shade. It's just like a slightly darker version of my natural lip color. Take a clean finger, smudge it in, let it sit there for about 15 seconds. And then you can put anything on top of it. I'm gonna top it with this today. This is the Wet n Wild Mega Slicks Lip Gloss in Bronzed Berry. It's a very frosty kind of shade. Usually I stay away from frosty lip glosses and lipsticks, but I've kind of been into this lately. Plus I think these are like less than $2. And this is it, guys. Here's the completed makeup look using a new eyeshadow palette along with some other things that I'm just really obsessed with right now and really into. I know some of these weren't new, but this is just what I've had on my desk lately and reaching for over and over and over again. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. What do you think of the final look? What did you think of this color story? Were you guys as mesmerized by the swatches of this palette as I was? I think it's absolutely stunning. Again, I'll link it along with everything else down below for you guys. Hope you guys are all doing well. Let me remind you one last time, please consider subscribing before you leave, but that is going to do it for now. Thanks again, you guys, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye.